everybody. It is so good to see all of you here for this wonderful, wonderful celebration. Welcome to the 2022 Western Dakota Tech Law Enforcement Training Class Pinning Ceremony. We are so glad you're here to celebrate this momentous event. My name is Elias Diaz, and I will be your MC for this morning's events and celebration. We are glad you're here to show the support that you are showing for your loved ones and family members. Many people have contributed to this event today, and much effort has gone in for it, and you are in for a real treat today. So sit back and relax. We have a wonderful, wonderful show for you today. And what I'd like to do is begin with the posting of our colors and the playing of the national anthem. So as our honor guard prepares, if you would please rise for the posting of our colors. At the command of present colors, if you would please place your right hand over your hearts and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem as played by the Rapid City Central High School Band. At this point, if the color guard would please proceed. Order. Mark.
Colors.
Okay, remain standing if you will. Thank you, Color Guard, and thank you, Rapid City Central High School Band, for your services here. Go Cobblers, we appreciate your help today. As we prepare to welcome the class of 004 of the 2022 Western Dakota Tech Law Enforcement Training Academy, please give each and every one of these a warm welcome as they proceed in this morning. Class 004. All right, thank you. You all may be seated. Well, as we begin this morning's proceedings, I wanted to begin just with a brief special thank you to a number of people. We want to thank Dr. Ann Bowman, President of Western Dakota Tech, Vice President Tiffany Howe, Team Lead Dwayne Nestor, all who give us tremendous latitude and freedom in the functioning of this program. Additionally, we would like to thank all of the admin, staff, and faculty that also in small ways, but in many ways, help us to do what we do. I want to thank Central High School for the opportunity to use this facility this morning, and I especially want to thank you, the parents and loved ones of Class 004. This is a proud moment for you. I want you to enjoy this moment. Your hard work as parents and support of these individuals has certainly paid off in each of their lives, and you are in the right place this morning. And I would be remiss not to mention our own cadets here this morning, Class 004. You have, without you, this is impossible today. And you have worked hard, you have lived, you have learned, you've sweat and burned, you've been pepper sprayed, tased, and by the looks of it, you're not even fazed, right? You conquered through thick and thin. I want you to enjoy this moment today. This will go faster than you think, and so really soak it up. You have indeed earned this moment, and so take full advantage of it all. At this time, I'd like to turn the podium over to our program director, Mr. Peter Ragno. Please welcome him to the podium this evening.
Good morning, Madam President, Vice President Howe, Vice President Goldsmith, Vice President Bowler-King, Vice President Toms, Captain Nestor, Mr. Popart, Mr. Russell. Thank you for joining us. I'd also wish a good morning to all of our families and support people, and a good morning to the class of 004. So if you have not noticed, the class is wearing bow ties today. And for 20 years, I have lectured undergraduate classes for the University of South Dakota, Black Hills State University, and Western Dakota Tech. And each time I lecture, I wear a bow tie. Now, you can look at this one of two ways. I've been told that imitation is a high form of flattery. But in this case, I actually think they're mocking me. Yes, I do have nerd ties too. I just prefer the bow ties, but I didn't want to show them up today, so this is about them. An interesting experience I had with this class that I'd like to share. On day one, last January, I arrived to class 20 minutes early, and I was the last person in class. We're all there. And I thought maybe it's, just some nerves or something that they showed up so early. And then on day two, they were 20 minutes early, and day 3, and day 4. The class had informed me that they were to be the best academy class ever, period. That they would set the bar for all to follow. That they would fight harder, drive faster, shoot straighter, and outperform all previous classes. The last day of class was yesterday, the last Friday of the semester. Campus was empty. They were probably the only students there. and they were all there 20 minutes early. Let's give them a little hand for that. For 2 years, I told them that this program produces champions, and now they are proof of it. When I look at this class, I see work ethic, skills, empathy, discipline, integrity, community service, sacrifice, and leadership. In short, I see champions. And I'll have words with anybody that sees otherwise. Today I'm going to tell you why we build champions. I started my career 31 years ago. I was 6 at that time, in case you're trying to do math. My equipment consisted of a revolver that held 6 bullets, and I carried 12 more. I had a wooden baton, handcuffs, and a flashlight that weighed about 4 pounds. It was not very bright, the batteries didn't last long, but it could double as a baton, so I didn't have to carry both. There was a shotgun mounted in the front of the car, and the interior and the barrel stuck straight up. I shot a few skunks that animal control had trapped, and an injured deer that was struck by a car. My field training officer made good use of it, as he would flick the ashes from a cigarette down the barrel. Not yet invented or in use were car computers, or computers of any sort for that matter, car cameras, body cameras, AEDs, less lethal technology, or cell phones. DNA technology was in its infancy, and the idea of lifting up a fingerprint, sticking into a computer, and having the computer spit out a name was science fiction. Today's officer carries as much ammunition in one magazine as I did on my whole body, and the officer has 3 of them. That's for his primary duty gun, and likely a lot more for his backup gun. The officer today has 60 rounds of ammunition in the patrol rifle, which is situated next to the shotgun, capable of deploying less lethal technology, with body cams, car cams, medical equipment, spikes, measuring devices, report forms, and a lunchbox. I'm surprised today's officers don't drive minivans. The idea of all the equipment that they must be proficient with, the laws that they must be knowledgeable in, coupled with the diplomacy and problem-solving skills, is not only overwhelming, but consistently changing. A painter is a painter, and a cabinet maker is a cabinet maker, but a police officer is a counselor. Not only a counselor, but a marriage counselor, a juvenile counselor, a legal counselor, and a drug and alcohol counselor. They are also social workers, psychologists, pharmacologists, teachers, preachers, medics. The list goes on and on and on, and that might just be all in one shift. Consider the no-win situations they're in. If you're engaged in a high-speed, dangerous pursuit, and you disengage, and you let the suspect get away, then you're negligent. If you do engage and you crash, you're reckless. If you win the fight, you're a bully. If you lose the fight, you're a coward. The irony in life is that we all want to be surrounded by great people. Yet few of us will do what it takes to be great. When I am sick, I want to be diagnosed and treated by a great doctor. If my car is broken down, I want it diagnosed and treated by a great mechanic. If I'm going out for a special dinner, I want it prepared by a great chef. If I am in crisis, I want a great officer to respond. Those officers are the ones that I call champions. We are in challenging times. There is no greater generation of officer to face these challenges than you. Your generation is the most technologically advanced and the least bias of any generation this world has known. This gives me hope for a brighter future with more civility. Class 004, I have high hopes and great expectations of you, and that is my final order. As you go forth and serve, do so with the mind of a warrior and the soul of a guardian. Now I would like to finish with what I call our academy by the numbers. So this year's training class started the semester with 13 students and we ended with 12. Of those 12, 10 of them were on the dean's list. And I just checked the grades because they've now been submitted. And Madam President, that board that you print the names of the dean's list people is going to have to be a little bit larger because we now have 12 of 12 of the class of 004 on the dean's list. We shot 7,741 rounds of ammunition, and I am told by our firearms instructors, most of those were bullseyes. We burned 175 gallons of fuel, 3 sets of tires on our cars, and we never left the parking lot. Today we have 12 graduates, and all are either working in the industry or have job offers in the industry. And that is also a first for our graduating class. So with that, I would like to offer all of you congratulations.
Well, each year, the class votes on a class representative, a spokesman, to address the group. This year, the privilege of this address will be conducted by Cadet Brandon Wolf. Please welcome him to the podium.
Good morning, Madam President Bowman, Madam Vice President Howe, professors, friends, and family. Before I address the class, I would like to have Madam President Bowman and Madam Vice President Howe to please stand where you're at. And at this time, I would like to have Jazz and Porter come up and present them with the gifts that Class 004 have for you today. Without these two amazing women, this class would not have been where we are at today. When I tell you they would drop anything to help us, I mean it. Along with these two amazing women, Class 004 was instructed to find one support person that they trust to have by their side the whole way through the academy. If Class 004 would please stand and present the gift to your support person. Class 004, you may be seated. Friends, family, spouses, we would like to thank you for attending the graduation for Class 004 this morning, and to thank everyone in this room for everything they have done to help us succeed and achieve this wonderful moment. Congratulations to Class 004 graduates. Today is the day to celebrate as we enter the law enforcement field, the day we have been waiting for since the day one. Now, we all know that commencement speeches can be sometimes boring and long, and sometimes cliche, as well as nerve-wracking, especially with your professors attending and sitting and looking right at me. But I would personally like to say thank you to those who have helped me in assistance with writing this speech, as well as my professors for all the writing assignments we had to do so I can prepare for this moment. I would like to start by saying that this semester has been one of the best. In the beginning, we were all individuals. We did not know one another. Everyone was an individual, but not today. Today we became a family and have gotten to know one another. Throughout the semester we've had fun times, from firearms, eating out together, spending personal time like bowling, getting ice cream, hanging out at each other's houses, and the most fun of it all, defensive tactics. Even though today is our last time together, we will forever be a family and known as Class 004. No matter where law enforcement takes you, I'm only one call away, and I'm only in Belfouche. So if you need anything, you call me, and I will always be there for you. When we started, we did not know what to do or what we wanted to do. As time progressed, we became stronger, developed more courage and confidence in each of ourselves. Look at where we came today. We stand here together stronger than we ever have been. We as a family started not knowing about one another, but with the help from one another, we have achieved and accomplished learning what a family means, as well as leadership, teamwork, and what it means to be a law enforcement officer in all spectrums of the field. Each individual person has played a role in someone else's life, from building resumes to assignments, giving advice on how to improve, and showing some harsh love whether we like it or not. In life, we always learn that there is no I in team. Without one another, we would have no success. We would not be here where we are today. There are moments where we may have not gotten along, but communication became key. From teaching each other our ways and one another's limits, helped us prepare to become one as whole. We've accomplished many things as a team together. We are the first class to have all 12 students make the dean's list. We are also the fastest class to build a human pyramid. And lastly, sorry girls, but the first class to have a guy get shot by the taser first. We had to ensure that we are the best class that WDT's Law Enforcement Academy has and ever will have. The people to thank the most, besides our supporters and classmates, are our teachers. Without our teachers, we would know nothing in times of low or in times where some of us had no hope or faith. They were there to motivate and teach us. Our teachers made it fun and memorable for each student. The professors at WDT are the reason for our success, the reason why we want to go into the profession of law enforcement. Law enforcement officers are hard to find this day, but thanks to our professors, they made it easier. To my classmates, thank you to going into this profession, and thank you to the support we have behind us. We know that it can be scary and it can be terrifying, but know that Class 004 will not disappoint. We stand strong as one to serve our community and make it safe. With everyone's support and love, we became better people, not just in law enforcement field, but also in our personal lives with family and friends. With all of that, I would like to have Kaylee and Jazz come up to the stage and present the professors with a gift from Class 004. Professor Regnum, Professor Diaz, and Professor Armstrong, please come up to the stage. These gifts are to show our appreciation of how much dedication they have put into us, along with their faith in us and what we can achieve. Without all the professors, we would not be standing here today. lastly, to close out my speech, throughout the Academy, we've had many laughs, many smiles. So it is my honor to present to you our class video of everything we have done in this Academy. And this video isn't possible without Katie. No, never mind. We will not be showing the video. But Katie made a lovely video of all of our times in the Academy. To Class 004, one last time, thank you for being my family and having my six, just like you all know I have yours.
Thank you, Brandon. Very, very heartfelt and well done. We are experiencing just a minor technical difficulty. We'll be trying to work through this and hopefully have this video by the end of the presentation. And if not, it is exceptional work and we want to share it with each and every one of you. So in some way, somehow, we will let you see this video, if not even this morning. But it does highlight their wonderful work here. At this time, we are going to transition into awards and recognitions. And we have a number of awards that have been our tradition to hand out to various recruits that have demonstrated exceptional performance in various areas. And we will begin, first of all, it will be my privilege to present the EVOC Award. The EVOC Award, EVOC stands for Emergency Vehicle Operations Course. And the EVOC Award goes to an individual who has demonstrated proficiency in navigating a 375 horsepower Dodge Charger without breaking anything on it or breaking themselves. There are a number of challenges that the individuals have to go through, from high speed to low speed, backing forward, all kinds of evasive maneuvers, challenge course that brings out all of the maneuvering that they've learned to the forefront. And it culminates with a pit maneuver where they have to demonstrate proficiency in safely removing a moving vehicle, from the roadway with their own car. And while all of the students performed exceptional, there is one individual who not only demonstrated proficiency in the maneuvers, but demonstrated a responsibility in handling the vehicles, the courses, as well as just taking on the knowledge that there's a high level of responsibility in handling this vehicle. And so for this award, we have determined the recipient to be Mr. Philip Monk. If you would please come up. And next, if I would welcome Captain Chris Misselt from the Box Elder Police Department to present the Firearms Award.
Good morning. I'd like to present the Firearms Award. It's always difficult to identify students who, they all perform so well, and it's always hard to pick out one. When we talk about firearms, one of the things that we open our classes with is, in our design, it's not as much about aligning the sights on the target and pressing the trigger. We approach firearms as a life skill. These guys have heard me say multiple times, shooting is about a 1% physical skill execution and about a 99% mental execution. And that materializes over and over and over again, doesn't it, guys? Yeah. So, when we look for that kind of performance and use that as one of our filters, the students start to distinguish themselves. And as we looked at who distinguished themselves the most this semester, two names became immediately apparent. The first was a student that walked on with a little bit more experience from prior learning. And as they progressed through our semester, they adopted skills a little quicker, a little easier, a little faster. than some of the others, and then utilize that opportunity to be a leader, a quiet, confident leader who I could count on to execute instructions, to lead others, to be a good coach, to be a great mentor, and to model all of the emotional discipline, physical discipline, and mental discipline that's required to bring a deadly force tool to bear. And the recipient of our first, and not to mention just demonstrate some awesome raw horsepower in execution of that skill. So the first recipient of our Firearms Award this year is David Stevenson. Our second recipient walked on our range with less experience, came along, accepted learning, accepted coaching, and sometimes as I was watching them shoot, I could see how hard they were focusing, how hard they were thinking, and how hard they were processing as they went through the exercise, and I almost felt bad and wanted to pass out ibuprofen to that student. But that materialized in what I've not seen very often as such a great model of the amount of discipline and focus, and then the resulting progress that materializes when you are that psychologically engaged in that skill set. And all the while she was doing that, she was a great mentor, a great coach, and a great friend to everyone else on the line, and also someone I could count on. And our second award today goes to Ruth Burgos Martinez.
Thank you, and that is Assistant Chief Missile. My error there, I saw that nice bird sitting on his collar there, so congratulations. Well, thank you. From this point forward, we have about 4 more here, all to be presented by our Program Director, Mr. Peter Ragnall. We'll begin here first with the Dark Horse Award.
The Dark Horse is a champion that is underestimated and overlooked. The Dark Horse is a long shot to win, not because of the lack of talent or skill, but the lack of confidence by others. These others are generally humble, as the Dark Horse does win. And for the Dark Horse Award this year, I ask that Leslie Torres join me on stage. So prior to the academy, Leslie Torres came to my office and said, I want in. And we looked at a few things that were not necessarily stellar, such as the attendance, which is so critical in the academy. So critical, in fact, that most who are dismissed from the academy are dismissed for being tardy or absent. Leslie Torres assured me that she could make it, that she would make it, she'd be there every day and early. And that she did, and immediately I was humbled. So this here is our champion, our Dark Horse, Leslie Torres. The next award that I have is for an indomitable spirit. And I ask that Kaylee Stanton please join me. So the indomitable spirit is just that, somebody that that can't be brought down no matter what the circumstances are, no matter how difficult things get, no matter how overwhelming. They are there with a smile on their face. And this award was the obvious one to me. And it started actually not this semester, but last semester. Early in our fall semester, the Rapid City Police Department had a joint training with the Pennington County Sheriff's Office, and they asked that our students get involved and serve as role players, which is a really nice way of saying bad guys, which means that they're going to be shot with simunition rounds, nothing real, but tackled and handcuffed and, given a general business to. And after that first day, I got a call at home that night from Sergeant Davis from the Rapid City Police Department, who says, "Hey, Lieutenant, one of your students really got the business today in training. We really shot her up pretty bad." He says, "You may want to check with her. I'm going to come into the school and check with her as well, just to make sure everything is fine." I said, "Okay." That day I walked into class, and there Miss Stanton was, bright-eyed, big smile on her face, and I says, "Hey, how's everything going?" And she says, "Oh man, did I learn a lot yesterday." "Learned a lot?" "Yeah, man, I got shot up, but I'm going to be back. I signed up for Thursday and Friday, and I got a thicker sweatshirt. Look at these bruises. I hope they're gone by then." In addition, she has anchored full-time job hours with the Pennington County Sheriff's Office beginning her first or second semester. Her first semester at Western Dakota Tech. She is staying with the Sheriff's Department. She'll be promoted here after graduation, and my hunch is she will continue serving with us. So I present her with the Indomitable Spirit. Next is my Dragon Slayer Award. Now, a Dragon Slayer is one that'll take on challenges. The Dragon Slayer knows they've been in the fight and have learned a lot from it. And I'd ask Ruth Burgos to join me up here on stage. So 5 months ago, we were in the end of our fall semester when Ruth gave birth to a baby. And she had said, "Is the baby here? Hold that baby up." So I told her, "Hey, no problem. We can get you accommodations. We'll keep you in school. We'll do whatever we have. And eventually you can finish out the program that works best for your family." She says, "Well, thanks, Professor, but I don't need accommodations. I'm graduating this May with my class." No, that's not the most of it. 1 week after giving birth, she was in class. Not the academy. She was just sitting there in class with a notebook. And I walked in and I says, "My goodness, who's watching this baby? I mean, my babies are 30 years old, but I remember way back when you had to watch them. You couldn't just, leave them in the car or something." She says, I have everything covered. Everything's under control." "Are you sure?" I mean, it just seemed like she absolutely had a plan. She was absolutely focused. And where others probably would have put school and life on hold, she took both of them on. And therefore, I award her the Dragon Slayer Award. this is my favorite because this represents the toughness in our students. And yet, hey, today has changed in law enforcement. You don't need to be a 6 foot tall, 200 pound, okay, 220 pound knuckle dragger. You need to be smart. But I still want to admire that toughness as well. Now, I can tell what generation each of you are from here by how you relate to John Madden. So, if you are my grandparents, you will remember John Madden as an NFL player. If you are my parents' generation, you will remember John Madden as an NFL coach. If you are from my generation, you will remember John Madden as an NFL commentator. And the students in front of you today, their generation only knows John Madden as a video game. But John Madden represented toughness in his playing days, in his coaching days, and even in his commentating days. John Madden would say, the guys I like to coach are the ones that had grass-stained uniforms and grass and mud jammed in the ear hole of their helmets. He says, those are the ones I like to coach. Every year I would look forward to John Madden introducing his all-Madden team, where he got to be kind of like a fantasy football team, but he selected a player in each position that was the toughest player in that position in the league. So he looked for the toughest quarterback and the toughest running back and the toughest kicker. I doubt that. But he would present these. And so I would like to present my all-Madden team. Now, just so that our parents, our support people, especially my bosses, know that I do not abuse our students, our students are given the option of being exposed to mace and the taser. And by the way, I recommend that they do not get exposed to it, and they will all tell you that. I talk about the pain. I talk about all they're going to experience with those. And I said, learn from my mistakes. Don't go through it. You don't have to. After I tell them all this, I say, who wants to go? And they all volunteer. Well, some of them volunteered for both the mace and taser. And so I'm going to name them to my all-Ragnow team. So if you would please just come on up here, and if you would just stand up here next to me. Torres, Thorne, Stevenson, Stanton, Pecula, Monk, Burgos, Betelgeuse, and Wolf. Now, when I say a taser, it may not sound to the average person like a real scary thing. In fact, I have a colleague at the school, a math teacher named Rick Hamilton, that said, hey, Pete, I got a good idea for a fundraiser. Why don't we see how much funds we can raise by the faculty agreeing to get tasered? And I say, hey, that's a great idea, but I'd like you to come in and watch my students and participate with the students so that maybe you could spearhead this fundraising project. So he came in there and we let him fire off a taser. at a target. I don't let them shoot the students. And then the students, one by one, agreed to get tasered. Now, I bring in an instructor for that. I don't have the heart, I admit it. I'm getting old and soft, and I just can't put our students through that type of pain. I know what they're going to experience, and I tried to talk them out of it. But I had my buddy Rick right next to me. And the taser went off, and the screaming started, and he said, "I don't want any part of this." He says, "That was a bad idea." And I said, "I agree." Now, I have two more names to add to my All Ragno team. Two individuals that represent toughness that I can only admire. And the first one is the Honorable Judge Lindgren. Please, Your Honor, join my tough team. And that's true. She was not tased. But the Honorable Lindgren has served in her career as a public defender, as a special prosecutor for the Attorney General. She now sits on the circuit court. I remember when she was fresh out of law school. She has taught with me at the University of South Dakota, at Black Hills State University, and I feel like the most fortunate program director in the school to have her on my staff. But what is truly impressive about her is how she endured some personal tragedies. Tragedies that I'm not going to detail for you, but tragedies that no one person should have that much in that short amount of time. But I'm going to tell you the spirit that she has. I remember sitting at my desk, my cell phone going off, the judge was on the other end saying, "Hey, I had to charter a plane, I'm getting my husband to Mayo, things are not looking good. Can you cover my class today and I'll be back on Wednesday?" That's the commitment that she had for the students. And I said, "No, Judge, I'd like you in class today." Just kidding. The only time I've ever given her an order or suggestion was to make sure her husband was well, she could come back and he would cover her class until further notice. But because of that toughness that she's demonstrated, because of her commitment to our students, I wanted to name her to our All Ragno team. And I have one more. I'd ask that President Bowman please join us to be a part of our All Ragno 2022 team. Now, getting through a pandemic is challenging for all of us. Truly, we had some life changes that we endured. But we all made it through. But imagine if you had the task of getting 100 employees and 1,000 students through a pandemic. And that's when I seen the toughness come out. She has remarkably weathered storms. And I remember a leader who I admired once told me, he said, "The leader with scar tissue has a perspective the unblemished will not understand." And so our President Bowman is storm tested. You know, they say, and I'm an old mariner, they say that calm seas don't make talented sailors. Well, she has certainly had stormy seas. She's navigated them with grace and dignity, and I cannot be more proud to name her as a captain of the 2022 All Ragno team. There are two more awards that we want to distribute, and the first is the Outstanding Graduate. Now, we recently had a more formal ceremony honoring all of our outstanding graduates in our school, but this outstanding graduate is from our program. And when this comes up every year, I get comments from the faculty of the program, and this year it was unanimous that Ms. Stanton would be our outstanding graduate. Lastly, we have, and that we have had for about 20 years now, is our Jason Burgraff Award. Jason Burgraff was a student in the law enforcement program. Some time ago, tragically, he was killed in a motorcycle accident. And only coincidentally, I, who was a young, good-looking officer at the time, was the first responder to that. I've been in touch with the Burgraff family since. They're a large family, 11 children were in that family. And I asked that we're able to carry on this tradition. This is the first year in those 20 that they were not able to make our ceremony. Something really unique about this award is this is voted on by the class. It is not voted on by the faculty. It is about leadership and poise. And this year's Jason Burgraff Award winner is Philip Moore.
Congratulations to all of the award recipients. At this point in our ceremony, we will be formalizing and officiating their commitment. I would ask at this time if the cadets of Class 004 would please rise for the law enforcement oath of honor. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor.
On my honor.
I will never betray my badge.
I will never betray my badge.
My integrity.
My integrity.
My character.
My character.
Or the public trust.
Or the public trust.
I will always have the courage.
I will always have the courage.
To hold myself and others.
To hold myself and others.
Accountable for our actions.
Accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution.
I will always uphold the Constitution.
My community.
My community.
And the agency I serve.
And the agency I serve.
Thank you, Class 004. Let us show appreciation to these cadets who have risen to this challenge. At this point, if the cadets would now line up for the presentation of their certificates. We will be reading the names of each cadet as depicted in your programs. Parents and loved ones can quickly move into the position of your choice to take a photograph on the stage, wherever is best for you. We would ask that you hold our applause. We'll move through each of these by name. Weston Bellew. Ruth Burgos Martinez. Jocelyn Millhouse. Philip Monk. Julius Morris. Katie Pacula. Kaylee Stanton. David Stevenson. Jarrett Thorne. Leslie Torres. Porter Wimp. Brandon Wolf.
Yeah, Bubba!
If our cadets would please stand. This concludes our pinning ceremony of the 2022 Western Dakota Tech Law Enforcement Training Academy. We want to thank you all for coming. You can meet your cadet in and around here. There'll be photos and opportunity and graduation to immediately follow. Please stand as we give this great class a wonderful round of applause. Thank you.